So, Eric, have you heard the story about Pauly Likens of Pennsylvania?
No, I have not.
Okay, Pauly Likens was a 14-year-old transgender girl. Her family was out of town. She was staying over a friend's house, and she met DaShawn Watkins off a grinder, and he's 29. So this is already bad. So after the family comes home, 3 days later, they file a missing person report because, you know, she's 14. They haven't seen her. Oddly enough, the police start finding human remains. So they start finding more and more human remains. They do testing, and sadly, it's Pauline who these remains belong to. So they start doing some investigation, and using her digital trail, they find out that she met up with DaShawn Watkins, and they do even more digging and get surveillance footage of him coming out of his apartment, and he's carrying bags, and he made a total of, I believe it was like 9 trips carrying different bags and having trouble with one bag in particular. Currently he's being held with no bond. Prosecutors are looking to hit him with a murder charge and charges of abusing a corpse, as well a potential hate crime as well. That's what they're trying to hit him with. There's a LGBTQIA group who's pressuring the police to hit him with a hate crime, but they're having an issue with it because DaShawn actually identifies as a homosexual, so they don't know. It seems like other than the murder charges and the abusing a corpse, they don't know where to go with a hate crime.
If that actual sentiment is true, then more likely the hate crime charge will get dropped.
Right.
Because I personally, from hearing the snippets of that story, it sounded like he just wanted to kill somebody and he didn't care who.
That's what is coming across to me personally. This is unfortunate, and I have to say this. This is why when I was much younger and I would come across LGBTQIA youth, and I'm talking about people, these would be boys basically. They'll be 14 to, I think the oldest I had, like a 16-year-old trying to talk to me, and this is when I'm in my like earlier 20s. I will always tell them, like, first of all, get off of these apps, because there are people on these apps that even scare me. Even as a full-grown man, like, they're scary, and you don't know people's intentions, and they will prey on you. Like, I look much younger now, but when I was younger, I looked very much younger. Like, I actually got kicked off a grinder because they thought I was a high school student on there, and they wanted me to send my ID and everything. I say that you have to be careful, because there have been times where I had people continue to talk to me after telling me that they thought I was 16, 17, and then they would go into like their intimate thoughts, what they would like to do with me, and it will always creep me out. Like, you think I'm a child and you're talking all this sexual stuff with me? Like, that's insane. And I don't want to blame, because you know, kids are going to be kids. They're going to get into things, they're going to do things that they shouldn't do, and I mean, I was a kid and I've done things that I shouldn't be doing. But with this particular case, like, you have to be careful, and parents, you have to be kind of like monitoring these things, especially when you have kids in the community, because it's not all unicorns, glitter, and rainbows. It's really not. It could be tough, and you do have people who will prey on other people if they think they could get something out of you, whether it's money, whether it's sex. You have to like talk to your kids, especially when they're on these apps. And even though I was an adult, I came out later in life. One of my ex-boyfriends told me, like, because I didn't know anything about Grindr, Scruff, and any of these apps, but when he started discussing them with me, he even told me, like, you have to be careful on these things, because you don't know who's on the other end. And unfortunately, poor Pauline met her demise. You know, think under the guise she was going to meet anyone